from your home team. This is 25 News.
The jury has decided Peoria Heights Mayor Matthew Wigginton is not guilty of drunk driving. It's Monday evening. I'm Tyler Lopez. It is our top story tonight. That verdict coming within just the past few minutes. Prosecutors say that Wigginton was found slumped over the steering wheel of a parked car at the Pear Marquette back in April. Today, witnesses testified that he smelled of alcohol, had slurred speech, and showed signs of an altered mental state. An officer also testified a key fob was found in Wigginton's coat pocket. Now, the defense argued the vehicle wasn't running. Wigginton never tried to start it, and there was no evidence he intended to drive. Wigginton himself did not testify, and again, the jury decided this afternoon he is not guilty of driving under the influence of alcohol. He also did not comment as he left the Peoria County Courthouse today.